into monsters with you gone, lol.
Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
Tired 4 LFG.
All right. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Hope people are doing well. Good to see everyone again. Hello. Is there anybody out there? Yeah, good to see you all. Thanks for swinging on in. You gonna do the intro of the stream? Appreciate you. Who the heck was resubbing? Who was doing that? We had Winklebot with the 70 months. Thank you for that. Freaking heckin' long time there. And not to be outdone, Hyper coming in with a tier 2 for 59 months. Wow. Indeed.
Is it really that
there we go.
time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
Yeah, you're back.
And welcome with the tier 2 for 35 months. Thank you ever so much. Indeed. Yay. I am happy to be back. I am glad to be out of Louisiana. Louisiana is not a state I would ever visit voluntarily. Let me just put it that way, I guess. I'm sure there's somebody there that's like, oh my gosh, this is the best state ever. I love living here. I need to find that person and ask them exactly what the reasoning is, because I can't really see any upsides to living there. Cheap land, maybe? I don't know. Is it our favorite NCO? Hi. How's it going, Uniform? Yeah, thank you again, Yakum, for that tier 2 35 months. Thank you for continuing to support the channel, and all you people supporting the channel, even in my absence. Very, 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 very kind of you. All right, hold on a second. Let me do this. Get some, like, a little bit of something going on in the background as far as, like, music is concerned. Not very loud, but, just a little bit of something. It's not total dead silence. Yeah, I hope everybody's month has gone well. Hope June has treated people decently overall. Tell you what, it's a very warm month for me. Very warm. Like, one of the freaking things about Louisiana is it doesn't seem to have, unless there's like a tornado happening, which also happened, there's not a lot of wind. There's like barely a breeze most of the time. So it's like excruciatingly hot, excruciatingly humid, and there's like no breeze. So you're just kind of like, the entire time. You're just standing there sweating. The benefit of Louisiana is in Arkansas or Mississippi, like at least the impression of culture exists, but the fact that New Orleans, yeah. So that's the thing is like every time I bring up like why does anybody live in Louisiana? People are like, oh, New Orleans, and it's like, yeah, I guess it's a lot of state for one city. Could we transplant that culture to someplace that's a little bit more like livable, maybe? Not in the middle of a freaking swamp. That being said, there were surprisingly few mosquitoes. We already have. Yeah, fair. There you go. But yeah, there were mosquitoes, but it was like very, 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 very few. There were lots of other bugs, which mostly left people alone. There were very big spiders, very big wasps, scorpions, lizards, which are not bugs, obviously, but yeah, interesting flora and fauna. There were a lot more like pine trees down there that I was expecting.
Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
Fill up my cup. Thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you ever so much. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. It's tick season now, if I remember correctly. Needs lots of moisture for mosquitoes, but I don't know. Yeah, so there weren't like any. I don't think anybody got any ticks either, which was weird. So there's like very few mosquitoes, and I didn't see a single tick the entire time I was down there.
Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
Did you find Bigfoot?
Shadow Lars coming in with the 46 months. I mean, it was a good opportunity to find Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot would have died of heat exhaustion, though, with all that hair of his in the Louisiana heat. I think he would have made it very far. But, lots of people's feet swelled up, if that's what you mean. There were lots of people with big feet because everybody's feet were swelling. There were some people who couldn't even tie their boots because their feet were like so freaking swollen from like being upright so much and not ever being able to like lay down to sleep, really. Things are crazy up here right now, but but after the rain we've received, the mosquitoes have really taken over. I believe it. Bald foot. Rat. Rat. Yeah, a lot of the time there was, at the beginning it rained a bunch, and we had a tornado almost kill us. That was fun. But like most of the time it was like between 95 degrees Fahrenheit and like 105 to 109, something like that. So for all you Euro lads, that's like high 30s, low 40s Celsius. How often do you have to practice force charges? And can you explain if you're more of a bayonet or calf saber kind of guy? Sounds nice and comfy. Yeah. I personally didn't get any kills because I was the truck commander. So my job was to put the truck in the position for my gunner to kill people. If I'm out running around shooting my rifle, probably something's gone not great. That being said, the truck commander does dismount sometimes. But usually in the middle of a firefight, you want to be inside the armored vehicle. What's the point of having an armored vehicle if you're going to run around outside of it? Yeah, I run over. Yeah, that you probably shouldn't run over the opposing force. They don't like that very much. Hitting somebody with your truck when you have a weapon system that can hit somebody at 1,000 meters is kind of an interesting choice. I'll put it that way. Run them over with your lasers, though. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, yes. We did have a lot of pretty good engagements. Where we kicked some serious butt, and I'll talk about those, obviously. But yes, I didn't have any instances where I was telling my driver to drive me closer so I could hit them with my sword. We're doing it of that. Could have freaking backstabbed somebody with a door, though, because the thing's so freaking heavy. Freaking Humvee doors, man. Like, they're good, because obviously they have armor, but also, like, they're very, like, opening and closing them can be a pain in the butt, because they're, like, very loud and you don't want to make a lot of noise. Because when they latch, they like slam and you can hear it for like freaking quarter of a mile. So you have to kind of like hold the freaking latch open and like kind of like pull the door closed and then like try to like let the latch go. Dune lore, when they train the starter car, they use mill sims like live ammo, living through ordeal, succeeding. I think Krieg is some official lore where they do that as well. Yeah, I'm never quite sure how to like think about the whole like, yeah, we're gonna kill our own guys before we actually get into combat, like sort of way of like training. You know, it's like a lot of combat, particularly with guns and artillery and stuff like that, comes down to like, there's your training, but there's a lot of like randomness that you can't control as an individual soldier. So it's kind of like, if somebody calls artillery on you and you get blown up by an artillery shell, it's like, what could you have done in that situation besides not get blown up? It's like, yes, you could be the highest trained, best soldier in the universe, but an artillery shell just equalizes you instantly. Like, it's like, you could have had a really good soldier there, but he just died. So, like, why do that yourself? At least make the enemy do it, you know, sort of thing. They're so awful, but close to mechanics are always... Our mechanisms are always super rusted, armored up ones at least. Yeah, the armored up ones are, like... yeah, they're particularly troublesome. How do they simulate with laser tag, disco ball? No, they have like so they have these guys come out on like four-wheelers or whatever to wherever the artillery is going to land. And then they're like out of game, essentially. Like you can't shoot at them, you can't engage with them or anything like that. And then they like pull a artillery sim, which they throw, and it makes the like incoming like whizzing noise of the shell coming in, and then the explosion. Obviously not an explosion that would kill people. You don't pause for artillery, no. Like, you just can't see a guy in a four-wheeler and then drive away from him because you wouldn't know he was there, right? You just have to ignore him. Once the artillery, like, actually starts going off, then you can react. But you just have to pretend that guy's not there until it actually starts going off. So yeah, there's no pausing involved. Because those guys will be hanging around any place that there's going to be an engagement. Because I know artillery could happen, right? And every single soldier has a GPS on them, so the game masters, as it were, knows where every single person is. Hey, Aldemont. Do you get equalized? Not by artillery, no. Do those guys never actually do anything but make everybody nervous on the edge? Yep, they do that. They actually do that. They'll like drive up and like drive back and forth sometimes, and then just do nothing and just drive away. Like they legit all they'll do that to you. We do have moderators. They're called OCTs, or Observer Controller Trainers. They're basically referees. So if anything wonky happens, they'll like call like what actually happened, right? So if the lasers get weird, because you know, like you can't shoot a laser through really dense vegetation and stuff like that, right? So the OCT will be like, okay, that machine gun would have killed that guy, you're dead, you know, sort of thing, right? So like they're there to like moderate the whole all the fights and stuff, and also like after if there's an opportunity to, you know, kind of be like, yo, okay, these are things you could have done better, or these are things I saw during that, like to help people improve, right? assume that doesn't stand for... It is cavalry. Cavalry scout. They start using augmented glasses on the headset. That sounds expensive and way too easy to break. I call them noobs. Oh, you were an Air Force OCT? Nice. Yeah, the OCT seems like a pretty good job. Although it seems also like a bunch of work, right? Because you have to, like, you can't just like sit around, you know. You actually have to like be on top of things. Have a charge bonus, indeed. Yeah, United States Cavalry Scouts. We are light on people, heavy on weaponry, essentially. Like every cav platoon, you're looking at 250 cals, 2 Mark 19s, 2 tow systems with 240 Bravos. If you're not, or if you're light, if you're heavy, you have Bradleys with extra tow missiles. Yeah, pretty much the idea behind Cav Scouts is that we can get in and out of situations quickly and easily because there's not as many of us. We can hide easily, deliver information about the battlefield, shape the battle space. But if we do get in a firefight, we have enough firepower to kill things. It's just the downside of being a Cav Scout is if one truck dies, you lose a lot of your combat power very quickly because you don't have a lot of people in general, right? So like one truck is worth a lot of firepower. So if it dies, then you lose a lot of firepower in a single like moment, essentially, right? Expert charge or move while firing. Hide easily to someone's close zombie door. I've got a story about that. We'll talk about that. Actually, there are a couple instances that we'll talk about that. Well, as a truck commander, Winkle, I have to go full manual. No skirmish mode for me. I have to move my truck as well as my section around. Make sure people get into the right spots. Can micro everyone. Not everyone, but multiple people, yes. Are you a lord or a hero? I would probably be considered a hero because, like, the platoon sergeant or the platoon leader would probably be the lord, right? So the lieutenant or the sergeant first class. Well, I have a other section leader, so yeah, basically a co-op partner. Various are considered cav. Basically, yeah. Hey, who it is? Hello, how's it going? I don't know shit about army stuff, so these dumb Total War comparisons really help me understand. I mean, it's fair. I mean, just ask. Feel free to ask any question you want. I'll try to answer it, and if it's Lars, I'll be more snarky, I guess. Did I get a medal or something? No, some people did. A couple of people. Not me, though. There's so many people that, well, one person got a medal for being the drone pilot for our platoon and being, like, very effective with it. Like, consistently throughout the entire training event. Another guy got a medal for being part of, like, when we were putting on all of the Miles gear or the Army laser tag systems, basically. You have to put all that stuff on, like, every single vehicle and every single person and everything like that. We, as a troop, succeeded as, well, plus, there was like another company or part of a company there or something like that. But in any case, we succeeded at being like the group that put on the most miles gear on vehicles in a single day in the history of this training ever, period. So one of the NCOs that was helping lead that got a medal for that. I'm trying to think, there was a third one I thought. Oh, yeah, there was. I can't remember specifically what it was for, though. I was kind of standing near the back. Couldn't hear super well when they were giving the stuff out. How many Purple Hearts were given out? Thankfully, 0. Those, somebody did actually real world die, unfortunately. Which is not great, clearly. Was it practice or actual fights? It's practice for actual fights. So we use what's called miles gear, which is essentially like laser. It's like laser tag stuff. Hold on a second. Let me do this real quick. But it's like super fancy laser tag. So you basically have like you have like this harness that you wear over your gear. This is like an older version, I think. But yeah, you see there's like you have like a harness that you wear over your gear, and then you have like a thing you put on your helmet or whatever. And then you have this box. And then you have this like box thing on the end of your rifle, that when you shoot your rifle, it sets laser off. So you have blanks inside your weapon, which is basically a bullet with no, it's basically a bullet with no tip, right? So like there's nothing that will fly out of the barrel. You have this thing on the end of your rifle called a blank firing adapter that you put on there so that enough back pressure is able to cycle the weapon because you don't actually have the bullet flying out. And so it still makes the same like bang that it would if it was actually firing, right? It's just no bullet flies out the end, and it sets the laser off. And then if you hit somebody, the gear here will start screaming at you, essentially. And they have that stuff for vehicles as well. So each person's wearing that, and then like each vehicle has a bunch of sensors on it and stuff as well. And like all the bigger weapon systems and stuff, it's not just like the small arms. Hold on, let me see. See if I can find a picture of the 50 cal. It makes the 50 cal look like a big laser gun. Hold on. That's like a really small picture. 1 second. Also a really small picture. Can I get a picture that's like not like a micro picture? I guess this will work. You guys can see this, okay? So this here, the wacky apparatus here, right? Like these 3 bars and this thing on the end, like the barrel, the actual barrel is like right there, but this giant freaking thing here is the blank firing adapter. And then this right here is the laser box. How do you laser explosions? Simulation grenades and simulation artillery. And then you have what's referred to as observer controller trainers, or OCTs, and they will dictate like who died essentially from the explosion. It's got a funny screwdriver. Yeah, it kind of it makes it kind of look like it's a freaking like laser cannon or something, like future gun. Listen, man, all guns kind of look like sex toys. You just got to be brave enough. Or follow weapon, yeah. Is it true you need to be wounded by an enemy combatant to get a Purple Heart? Like friendly fire incidents don't count? Yeah, there needs to be enemy involved. Or at least you need to be in a combat zone, I believe it is. For Purple Hearts. Remember, if I am remembering correctly. Big Laser Guns was YouTuber does chemistry and laser experiments. Took 2,000 watt laser for removing rust and paint and focused into a single beam with lenses and junk to make it a legit laser rifle. You think could melt through a ton of different stuff. Yeah, isn't there a system that like shoots? They can like shoot down missiles and stuff. That's like a laser or whatever. Pretty sure. Just takes just a big power supply usually. Oh yeah, also to answer your question from earlier, like what happened to the guy that actually like real world passed away? So I don't know specifically because by now they would have done an autopsy and stuff and figured it out. But at the time, basically, he went on his guard shift, then he went to do his rest cycle, so he went to go to sleep, and he just never woke up. So he either got bit by something probably, or the heat killed him. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened precisely. Somebody knows at this point, but I don't. But yeah, he just like. Like an aneurysm or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people when it first happened were didn't think it was real. You know, just thought it was like a rumor or something. But then people were like, "Oh shit," because we had a guy that knew one of the OCTs. So he was actually able to confirm that it actually happened. It wasn't just people, talking. I mean, it was, like I said, it was very, very warm down there. So, like, it could have been a heat thing, definitely. Could have been just, it could have been something that he had, that just got triggered by being there, doing all the physical stuff and the heat, and then et cetera, right? Or he could have gotten bit by a snake or something, because they're freaking deadly snakes down there, so that's also possible. If it was a heat, you'd be gradual or somebody would notice? No. That's not exactly how heat injuries work. We had one guy who had heat stroke, who went from seeming perfectly normal to having heat stroke in like an instant. Now, if you watched that person every single moment of the day, you probably could have been like, wow, you need to drink more water. Wow, you need to get out of the sun. Wow, you need to X, Y, or Z, right? But if you're just doing normal operations, you're not literally just staring at the guy all day long. Like you can seem normal, and then heat stroke. Yeah. Once you get a heat injury, it screws you up for your entire life. Like in the military, if you get a heat injury, that goes on your permanent record as you had a heat injury, so they're aware that you are actually permanently screwed up from it. Very igloo with frozen sheets. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was the heat stroke guy. He had to get flown back to Wisconsin because he was like so messed up. But yeah, he went from like I said, he went from seeming mostly normal to just like heat stroke. It happened at night too. Well, the heat injury is foreign in Finland. I'd imagine so. It probably doesn't get that hot. You could probably still get a heat injury if you were trying hard enough. But yeah, probably you're much more likely to get a cold injury in Finland. One where we didn't even take off and had to get an ambulance for 2 dudes that passed out. Yeah. Like I say, it is hot down there. Like, it gets like that. It can get that way in Wisconsin, but it's usually only like that for a few days. Whereas, like, that is just every day down there. So it really, really, really freaking hits you. Yeah, like, anytime anybody like sleeping during the day or anything like that, like, if they were my guys, I would make sure to, like, wake them up to, like, drink water and things like that. It's like, wake up for a couple of seconds, drink some water. Okay, now you can go back to sleep, you know, sort of thing. Sleeping in, actually, during the daytime. Yeah, hypothermia can sneak up on you, too. Yeah, heat or cold injuries can really, like, just... You think you're okay, and then suddenly you're very not okay, you know? Standard AC unit, a window unit in the kitchen, floor unit upstairs. We still can't keep it below 75 in the house when it's like this. What state are you in again, Gravy? Are you actually in Louisiana still? I know you were part of the JRTC program for a long time. I'm not sure. Are you still there? Or are you a different state now? Or did you just fly in and out of Louisiana when you needed to? Yeah, for you guys over in the UK, heat is like really freaking annoying because you guys don't usually have like air conditioning and stuff, and your houses aren't really built for it, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, like over here it gets hot and people are like, "Ah, yeah, well, it'll be fine," but it's like a lot of places in Europe, the houses just are not constructed for that level of heat, and the AC is just not readily available. Yeah, it increases your risk of getting another heat injury or cold injury in the future if you get one. When it's hot, yeah. I imagine you could probably like buy one of those like floor AC units or something to like help you out, but homes are mostly well insulated here in Norway, so it's fine. It gets worse in the evening. Place still heats up. Just buy fans. I mean, that works too, I guess, depending on how hot it is. Insulation gets cold, can also keep the heat out. Yeah, if you open your house in the evening to let the cool air in, and then you close it all down and, like, shut the curtains and everything like that, you can actually, like, keep a house decently cool even without AC, even if it gets fairly hot outside. Always been a solid way to beat the heat, not exactly sure why. Well, it's because humidity makes cold and heat worse. So, like, if you can remove the humidity, then it doesn't feel as bad. You either keep all the windows and blinds closed and keep all the fans on, or you vent the whole house and kiss a fan. Yeah, evaporation is amazing. Which is, again, one of the reasons why Louisiana sucks, is because there's, like, no wind. Unless there's a tornado, then there's lots of wind. Yeah, I mean, you guys are surrounded by water, so I imagine the humidity is pretty freaking rough. It was like you're an island nation or something. Wild. Yeah, if it's super humid outside, your sweat really can't evaporate. Yeah. Yeah, humidity is just terrible. Like, you remove humidity for most situations, it just feels way better, but I don't know. There's not a lot of places that have very little humidity except for deserts, like, you know, sand deserts. Oh, the heat is over there. I think I would instantly combust. Yeah, the dang thing, too, is, like, I went from, like 50 degrees Fahrenheit-ish, you know, well, actually, it was more like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 15 Celsius, directly into high 30s, low 40s Celsius, / 95 to 105 Fahrenheit, you know. I like went straight into that, so it was like, because so I didn't have like any time to acclimate. It was just like, good luck, you know. Because Wisconsin has been like mostly chilly this spring. I mean, there's a certain, you do sort of get used to it. It's never not miserable, but you do just kind of like get used to the misery to a certain extent. Also, I always wear long sleeve cotton work shirts when working in the sun outside. Yeah, some disinfectant to get rid of the germs. I mean, that's basically what IVs are, right? You never really eat again or anything else. Oh yeah, the bot, yeah, if you report bots to Twitch, they actually get rid of them pretty quick. Usually it's like minutes. You just have to use the report feature or whatever. The account will be freaking snapped. Thanos snapped from existence pretty fast. Don't report the Winklebot. Yeah, the Winklebot is a real bot. I did find it amusing that some people thought you were an actual bot. Not. Not a person. Can walk in below 0C and I give a flying fuck about anything above 15. I'm uncomfortable at 25. I'm craving a sweet embrace of death. That's fair. Alright. Well, I feel like I've probably harped on about the weather for a while, long enough. I'm sure I'll harp on it more. I guess the other big thing about the weather is that we had to be in full uniform, plus like helmets and like load bearing equipment and everything like that during the actual like exercise, which didn't help. So it's like, again, it's like 40 Celsius, 100 and something heat, and then you're also in like 3 layers of clothing and gloves. Humvee story? Alright. I have spoken. Okay, well, there are a couple of them. Yeah, there's 2 Humvee stories. Well, I mean, 2 Humvee stories that have to do with, like, the enemy being close to a Humvee. Ah. Operation Sneaky Squirrel and Operation Holy Shit. How's that? That's the names of the stories. Here, Holy Sheets first. All right, hold on a second. I've got like a Word document here to like kind of like keep track of like timeline or whatever. I'm okay with telling stories out of order. I'll just want to make sure I'm like tracking what I've told and what I haven't and everything. Let's see. When was that? So this would have been. The training area. So the training area, which is this, basically like this area here, is referred to as the box. So when you go into the training area, you're going into the box, and you don't come out of the box until you're done with the training. Geronimo DZ Gator Pond, yeah. So you don't have any phones or anything like that while you're in there, unless you have like a memo to say that you need a phone for something. Like our drone operator had a phone because we had like an air tag on the drone in case it like fell into the trees or something. You know, so we could go retrieve it. Or like commanders or whatever had their phones, but because in a real life situation you wouldn't have a cell phone because they triangulate your position easily and then shoot you with artillery and stuff like that. No fixed wing. We did have helicopters. Unless you count, like, the paratroopers utilizing the drop zone from, like, you know, dropping out cargo planes or whatever. But no, like, combat fixed wing aircraft. The enemy also didn't have any combat fixed wing aircraft. They also had helicopters. But... what is the Gator Pond for? It is just a big body of water that's like right next to the drop zone here. We drove by it a few times. Looks like a big pond. We did, one guy actually saw 2 alligators. Over here, there is, right here, so there's like a road that goes between like, this is water and this is water. We set up a barrier, like concertina wire and stuff here. Right? So, like, make it so they had to figure out how to go around or, like, get rid of the concertina wire. Which, concertina wire is... nope, that's not it. I'm not even sure if I can spell concertina. Hold on. Oh, hey, there we go. Thanks, Google. Concertina wire is this crap. For people that are unaware. Shit sucks. Yeah, it's basically razor wire. Yeah, this stuff will like grab you and like rip your shit up real quick. Brand name, razor wire. Also referred to as C-wire. Or Charlie wire. Or whatever. Yeah, anyways. We set up some concertina wire here, and one guy saw 2 alligators hanging out in this area. So that's neat. Didn't go fight him, though. Coward. Gators feel lonely up there. I don't know. I don't know how many gators are up there. You know, there's 2 of them, so at least they're not completely alone. Yeah, I don't know if there are any gators in the gator pond. I didn't see any, but you know, it doesn't mean they're not there. Okay. So during one of our during one of our screen missions, which is a screen mission basically is when you take Cav Scouts and you stick them out in front of the line to either engage or to report on anything that's coming near the main line, so that if it's something that you let through the main line, you basically like get on the radio like, hey, this is coming through the line, so that the main body can like move to like defend against it, right? So any enemy coming through would then hit a strong point, right? Or if it's like enemy recon assets, then you just freaking destroy them, right? That sort of thing. But it's not like you want to take out like several infantry companies or something like that, right? You're gonna try to like pass it off to somebody else. Someone from the south can reliably expect gators to be in gator ponds. So in any case, we had our platoon. We had a truck like sitting up in here. A couple trucks like down here, like looking down the road with the tow. So like a 50 cal was like looking down the road this way because this is where the this here is like the enemy direction of travel or whatever, right? So we had the tow like looking down the road and the 50 cal, and then like my truck was like down here ish, like off the road in the trees, so I could see there's like a town here, so I could see like the anybody coming in and out of the town like all the way down the road. And then we had a Mark 19 truck down here, so like if I saw somebody so basically like they come down the main road, they hit these three trucks. If they come down the side road or like whiz up the side road, they're gonna hit like multiple trucks all down the road for both reporting or engaging, essentially. And then we had our third truck here was, I think, was watching like this intersection or whatever until later, which is part of the other story. But in any case, the during the night, these guys up here were doing their thing, watching, and suddenly there's like a couple squads of dismounts walking down the road. How long we were sitting in this particular spot? This was a few days. We were in this screen line for a few days. I could actually look at my notes. I might be able to tell you how many days exactly. Dismounts, infantry. People that are outside of vehicles. So if you're mounted, you're in a vehicle. You're dismounted, you're outside a vehicle, right? So dismounts would be just like regular guys walking, you know. They just use the public transport. Let me see here. When did we leave that area? Do I actually have a date on this? Maybe I didn't put a date on this. Some of the stuff I put dates on, other stuff I didn't. Because I'm terrible. Yeah, in any case, it was probably like 4 or 5 days. Something like that. So there's... For Cav, you have basically 3 different vehicles. You have the up-armored Humvee. You have a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, or the Striker. We use Humvees because we're light. So if you're like medium or heavy, you'll be using infantry fighting vehicles or Strikers. But our unit is light Cavs, so we use up-armored Humvees. So, like this. Oh, hold on a second. Actually, I can open this in a... like this, basically. Only forest color, not tan. Portal warships. Alright. So that's top right is firing blanks. Hold on a second. This is a chain gun. I believe this is a 50 caliber chain gun. So no. Definitely not blanks. Just like end for end 50 cal bullets essentially is what that is. Just a line of freaking 50 cal metal coming at you. A lot of blanks, yeah, right. You have a bold statement to make? What is that? Maybe sure how you put a blank firing adapter on a chain gun. The freaking barrel has to spin. I guess there probably would be some way to do it, but it'd probably be annoying. Soft shell tacos aren't real tacos. I think boneless wings aren't wings. I mean, it feels like semantics. Taco made with tortillas. Tortillas here. Fair enough. It is because it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about like, if you're trying to like make a very specific like scientific style statement, then it would matter, right? But if you're talking about language, then it doesn't matter. Right. If I'm trying to convey to you the idea, I say soft shell taco, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I say boneless wing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So like the difference is semantics and doesn't matter in that context, right? Now, if I'm trying to like make a scientific statement, then maybe it would matter, right? I don't know what a soft shell taco is. You are lying. Did they upgrade the drivetrain transmission on those Humvees after adding the armor? Remember my friend who spent time in Iraq 2000s talking about the transmission shooting the bed all the time? So yes, but it's still not great. There is a decent amount of power behind the up-armored Humvees, but you could still get yourself into trouble if you don't know what you're doing in certain terrains. So you have to be aware. A burrito somebody gave up on halfway through. How is this related to the Humvee story or dismounted boars that use public transport now? Maybe they had tacos before they came marching at us. You alright, a taco? Oh yeah, you UK people. And you're not having Tex-Mex. Yeah, tacos are very good. Very good. Alright. Anyway. So, it's, like, I think it's probably like 1 or 2 in the morning. So it's super dark out. These guys are coming down the road. We obviously have night vision, right? We got thermal scopes. We got actual, like, individual night vision. So we see them. Or these guys see them. I don't personally see them. It's different. This is the, first section here. So, they call up our headquarters and are like, yo, do we have any friendlies operating in this area? Right? Because we don't want to, like, it's hard to see in the dark, like, what uniform they're wearing exactly, right? Because you know, thermal scopes and night vision aren't exactly the best for like picking out colors and stuff like that, like specifically. You can find a person real easily, but you know, like, you want to make sure. Like, hey, are these friendly? Our headquarters person is less than helpful, is taking forever, essentially, right? Can't afford flashlights. Ah, yes. Because you'd want to just shine a flashlight at somebody in the middle of the dark. Hey! I don't go over there! Hey! Get shot. Alright, they're bad guys. Reconnaissance achieved. Or the GPS to no friendly units. Yeah, so, like, yeah, either through reporting or through GPS signals and stuff like that, they should know whether there's friendly here. GPS could be hacked? No? Can be. Difficult. Because everything is, crypto, but...
Let's go to a place where everything is made of blocks.
But yeah, all the systems that, like, would be giving off a signal of some description do have crypto loaded in them, basically, to make it really, really difficult to either hack into them or, like, know what the heck's going on with them, basically. Yeah, so that sort of thing is what electronic warfare people will do. So you'll have multiple electronic warfare trucks, right? And you need like 3 of them essentially. 2 is okay. 3 is better. And you try to like set those up so that they can like detect this. They'll like go, okay, we kind of detect a signal coming from here. And then the next one will be like, okay, it's kind of coming from the same direction. And then the next one will be spread out far enough. You can be like, oh, it's kind of coming that direction. So you can like between the 3 trucks, you can gotta figure out where it's coming from. Right? But you need to have that capability. You need to have that stuff deployed on the field, right? To be able to do it properly. And even then, sometimes maybe you won't be able to figure it out. But there is some potential there, right? Yeah, you can jam it. We did have some electronic warfare vehicles with us, but the way that they were deployed was really stupid. We didn't actually get like 3 of them in one place. We had like 1 electronic warfare vehicle with each, like each major group, and they were so far apart that they couldn't actually do their job properly. So, anyway, stupid things happen. Might be on port cavities to get access to. But like I said, it is a capability. It's just... And we did have a electronic warfare truck. We just only had the 1, so they couldn't, like, triangulate properly. Yeah, it's... yeah, basically. It's like, there's something there. Oh, that vague direction. Like, alright, cool. Yeah. A lot of the times what happened with our electronic warfare truck is our electronic warfare trucks is they gave us lots of information, but it was all like mostly garbage information because there wasn't enough like to piece it together into something that made sense, right? So, yeah, our electronic warfare vehicles got deployed stupidly. So, but that wasn't us. We didn't decide that. That was freaking brigade or whatever figuring out how to use, because it's like a brigade level asset, I believe. Anyways, they were very silly. Yeah. Tangents aside. So these guys are walking down the road. We're calling headquarters. Headquarters is not giving us information very fast. They're kind of fumbling about with it. These guys are still coming down the road, right? Headquarters still has not given us information. They're like literally like walking up onto our trucks at this point, right? They haven't seen our trucks yet because we're hidden in the trees really well, right? Until one basically like stumbles onto the vehicle and At that point, he sees the up for the enemy, sees the vehicle, and then like looks up and sees the gunner, who happened to be our lieutenant at the time, sitting at the turret, and he goes and and the enemy like points his rifle, and at that point, that's when all hell breaks loose, right? It's like, okay, now like something is happening, and we're gonna start opening fire, right? So small arms start going off, enemy starts returning fire and like backing away slightly. The 240 Bravo truck, so there's a bunch of guys kind of hanging around the lieutenant's truck because they kind of like stumbled upon it, right? And some of them were trying to get in the truck, but we had the doors battle locked where you can't open them from the outside, so they were trying to get in the truck, but they couldn't. So our 240 Bravo, which is like a medium machine gun, basically he spun his freaking gun around and just started lighting up our own truck, because the 240 Bravo is not going to destroy a Humvee, but it will kill everybody on the outside. So he just started like freaking machine gunning our own truck and like scraping the freaking enemy dismounts off of off of the vehicle, right? If they're close enough, you usually do, you scream like close kill, and then you shoot your rifle in a safe direction. The vehicle-mounted gun was not on that truck. It was on a different truck. So like we had one truck shooting the other truck, basically, to kill the guys that were trying to get into the vehicle. So it wasn't like the one vehicle was shooting people off the vehicle. It was a different truck shooting across onto the vehicle. Try to get rid of people. Also, the actual gunner for the truck was sleeping at the time because it was the middle of the night, so we're like, you would put one person up to do guard, right, on the gun while other people were sleeping. And he was barely dressed. Are point blank still dangerous? Yes, because there's still like pressure that from the round going off. So, like, if you took a blank without a blank fire adapter, put it next to your head and pull the trigger, you could very well kill yourself. Or at least do, like, some very massive damage to yourself. Yeah, you can hijack vehicles. Yeah, it's allowed. If you get into them and kill the crew, you can hijack a vehicle if you want to. No, we're using blanks with Miles gear, cliche. So, like this stuff. Like this is Miles gear. And then, like the box on the end of the rifle or whatever. Yeah, there's like a shockwave from the round going off, essentially. Yeah, so it's like a concussive sort of thing. So yeah, you still want to be somewhat careful with it. The blank fire adapter, like, one of the ideas behind it is that not only does it, like, push back the pressure back into the chamber so that the weapon can cycle properly, it, like, forces some of that energy both up and down as opposed to, like, straight out of the barrel, so that there's less chance that you hurt somebody with it if you're really close still. Yeah, Chris Lee died doing crow filming from a blank. Indeed. His beats being overrun. Yeah. So anyways, our gunner is like, or not our gunner, but their gunner is like half dressed. So he's trying to freaking put his boots on, pull his pants up, and he's like getting his trying to get his like rifle together and his night vision and stuff on at the same time. The lieutenant drops down inside the truck, obviously because the truck is getting shot by our own guys. So he drops down inside the truck so he doesn't get shot by our own guys. And his night vision falls off his helmet into the truck. So he's trying to freaking find his night vision inside the truck as our gunner's like getting his stuff together, and the driver is grabbing his rifle and just kind of like, you know, being ready essentially. Eventually the gunner gets enough of his shit together that he's like that and the enemy has like been pushed away from the truck, so they're like engaging. So like these guys are like here, right? So the enemy's like pushed back, kind of like across the road as engaging. So like they jump out of the truck and they're shooting their rifles, engaging with the 50 cal, the 240 Bravo, and trying to get the Mark 19 involved as well. But they're kind of close, you know, so you gotta be a little bit careful. So usually people will go to bed fully dressed, but that night he happened to be like, you know what? I'm going to like relax a little bit. So of course it's the night where freaking infantry like walk directly on top of the vehicle, right? Go figure, right? So yeah, they're shooting from behind like the armored doors and stuff like that with their rifles. They never relax, right? And they do eventually like shove the enemy away. Also, in the firefight, the lieutenant's rifle jams like 3 times, and his night vision falls off his helmet a 2nd time, which he was going through it, man. This is the middle. Had a guy point a freaking rifle at him at like point blank range. Then had his truck strafed by his own other truck to try to like get rid of the infantry. And he lost his night vision. It fell off his helmet twice. And his rifle was jamming. Yeah, he was having a rough night. But yeah, they eventually dealt enough casualties to the enemy that they pushed him off. If I remember correctly, the enemy then called artillery, because that's usually what you do when you back away. If you retrograde, you call artillery. So they had to like pull back off of this intersection for a bit to wait for things to cool down. Like take up secondary positions like further down the road, basically. So yeah, that's story number 1 about people being literally close enough to the Humvees where they could like try to open the doors. Again, I wasn't involved with that. I was down here. And I could hear that happening. I could hear it happening because I was like right here. So I like saw the flashes and heard the freaking machine guns going off and stuff. Issue being, my radios were screwed up because somebody at higher, like squadron level, had gotten one of their trucks hijacked, and they had to change the time on the radio to make sure that there was an enemy listening into our radio, and my radio was like slightly off, so I could only hear like certain people, and I couldn't hear them, unfortunately. I got it fixed in the morning because I realized what was going on, but like otherwise I probably would have freaking pulled out of here and like came down the road and like tried to help, but I wasn't really sure what was happening, like who was engaging over there. Like I didn't want to like drive down the road with no comms and just get shot, right? The bird stuck in the conservatory? Alright. Bird squatter rights. Yeah, so, yeah, it was unfortunate that my comms were slightly whacked at that point, but they got it figured out. Nobody died. Everybody probably had a slight heart attack, but nobody actually died. Enemy died. But such is the way of things when you walk up on a freaking bunch of machine guns as dismounts, is you're probably going to get freaking screwed up pretty bad. This is a way of saying he needs to go to the bathroom. The bird is stuck in the conservatory. I repeat, the bird is stuck in the conservatory. Alright. So I guess yeah, that's pretty much it for that. after the enemy dismounts got pushed back and they repositioned because of the artillery, like, it was quiet the rest of the night. So that was good. So the other story, which happened the day before this, actually, I think this story happened during the day. And then this happened during the night. It was like the same day/night, basically. Well, I guess this was like early morning of the next day, but in any case. So let's see, where is it? Here, I think? Yeah, right about... Oh, is it here? No. Here. So right here, there is a water crossing. So like, there's no bridge here. It's basically like there's a pole in the ground that tells you like if you drive through this, you'll be fine or not. Essentially, right? Or it's just water running across the road. While we were there, it was fine because the entire time we were in the box, it wasn't raining. It was just ridiculously hot and humid. Yeah, like I said, we had one truck here, another truck here, another truck like over here. And Troop basically wanted... I think this came down from Squadron, but in any case, they wanted this water crossing watched, right? For anybody potentially, like, sneaking around or coming down, like, up this road and, like, through or whatever. So they specifically wanted this water crossing watched. In case the gators for the pond show up. Yeah, that too. So our 6 truck, which was our tote truck with the 240 Bravo on it, they were like, well, you're the southern part of the line anyway, because my truck with the 50 cal was up here, and then the Mark 19 was here. So you're the southern part of the line anyways. We'll just shift you down a bit to, like, cover this. So they head down there, and there's not really any good place to park to, like, observe the water crossing. Like, any place they were parking, they couldn't then, like, see the water crossing itself, right? You can see there's lots of, like, freaking random trees all over the place. So they decided, like, the only place they could really see the water crossing itself to, like, make sure there wasn't any enemy driving up and down the road or doing anything funky in this area was they basically, like, parked, like, right off of the water crossing, like, super close to it. But then they camouflaged the ever-living snot out of the truck. Like, the truck was a bush, basically. Like, they drove into the bushes and then, like, turned the truck into a bush. So nobody could see it. Your whole freaking Humvee, basically invisible. So not long after that happens, a group of enemy, I think it was a BTR, which is basically one of these bad boys with, like, the 8 wheels or whatever. Minus the turret. Like BTR 80. Yeah. Like this thing, basically. So it's like this. So one of those, and then a couple of BRDMs. So these little suckers. Little, scout car / troop carrier dealy bobbers. So we're using, like, analogs, basically. So, like, instead of this actually being, like, a BTR, it was, like, a striker. So, this thing. Sort of similar, right? Gets the idea across. Yeah, you basically find, like, you basically take a, American vehicle that looks similar, and then you use that for the analog for it, and then you know... Yeah, a little bit bigger. Then you paint it up so people know that it's an enemy vehicle, right? But yeah, that is the stand-in for this. Properly American, indeed, indeed. So 2 of these and 1 of these loaded with dismounts. They're friendly depending on what side you're on. Yeah, true. Loaded with dismounts. End up basically, like, there's this little area here. They end up parking, like, here. Now, our truck is, like, here, right? or the friendly truck, not my truck, but the friendly truck is, like, here. So they park here, like, jump people out. So there's, like, 20-some dudes walking around here, and a BTR sitting on the side of the road over here, and 2 Burnhams sitting on the side of the road over here, and, like, again, like, 20-some dudes walking around. They have not spotted our truck yet. They're all walking around, and our guys are on the radio, and they're like, guys, they're all over us. Like 20 dudes outside our truck. Right? Like, within, you could, like, see the whites of their eyes, you know, kind of, like, distance. But they haven't seen the vehicle. They had not seen the vehicle at all. So these guys are, like, basically preparing. So there's infantry further down here, friendly infantry. So these guys are, like, preparing to assault into the infantry, right? So they were, like, basically, like, rallying and getting ready to, like, start their attack. So we're up here, and the platoon sergeant, who has the Mark 19 truck, is like, all right, well, you got guys all over you? Well, we're gonna come help, right? I'm over here, and I'm like, hey, I literally say over the radio, hey, if you're gonna go Baja on these guys, can I Baja with you? He's like, yeah, hell yeah. So we come, like, freaking, we, like, back the heck out of our battle position and, like, come screaming down to get onto the road. They've already freaking gotten on the road with the Mark 19 truck. How many trees were knocked in the process exercise? A bunch. A Baja, the famous military term. You know it. So they come screaming out, and they go down the road as fast as they can. There is a speed limit because people they don't want you to run people over in real life. So Bahaing, you know, like, picture, like, going over, like, sand dunes in, like, a dune buggy or something, right? Freaking Bahaing. So essentially driving fast. Like a crazy person. So as we're peeling out onto the road, they've already, like, started going down the road as fast as they can. And they rip upon these guys. And so, like I said, there's, like, 2 Burnhams parked here and a bunch of dismounts. They come through and they just and just freaking Mark 19 this entire freaking wood line. Right? So people are just freaking getting absolutely brutalized here because they weren't expecting anyone to come up behind them. So they're all like way too close to each other, right? The vehicles are parked like close to each other because they were trying to dismount and then like spread out and like attack, right? But they're still like all gathered in their assembly area. So the freaking Mark 19 just like rips through, I don't know how many freaking guys, is probably more than 10, plus the 2 vehicles that were sitting here. Because the Mark 19 just absolutely wrecked those. It's 40mm grenades. So they come screaming through, blow up that stuff, kill a bunch of dudes, go through the water crossing, out this side. Oh, Mark 19? Yeah. Oh, hold on. So yes, the Mark 19 is a grenade launcher machine gun. It shoots 40mm grenades. N for N. So this is mounted on top of one of our trucks. Yes. Quite dangerous to lightly armored vehicles and dismounts. So they go screaming through. Something a Space Marine would use. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some, like, things based on that. Like, as far as, like, look goes, you know? Satisfying thonks at high rate of fire, yeah. It's a frag storm grenade launcher. Yeah, so they went whipping through. They wrecked most of those guys right there. Our truck is still hiding, like, right here, yeah? So the 8-wheeler is still, like, over here. We get on the road, we come down, and we come driving up to here. There's, like, a couple of dudes hiding behind the burnt-out vehicles on this side. You know, try to take some cover behind that. That's over here with... There's more dismounts in the trees that dismount on the other side, probably from